What's up guys, it's me Lego Paradise here, and today I'm going to show you my Lego version of the Prydwen, the giant Brotherhood of Steel airship from Fallout 4. Ever since I saw the airship in-game, I thought it'd look really cool as a Lego version, and since I'd been wanting to make a Lego airship anyway, I decided it'd be perfect to build. So it includes a detailed interior and all of the most important features and aspects of the Prydwen's design, and it even includes a custom designed Vertibird and a place to dock that on the airship. But I'll show you that in a little bit. So let's start by taking a look at the details on the outside of the Prydwen, and first let's take a look at the giant airship balloon. And you can see that it's made out of three main parts. For the front of the balloon, I've built a semi-dome shape out of mostly just basic bricks, and then just extended that with a long straight section in the middle, and then finally towards the end I've built an upside down cone shape, again using mainly just basic bricks. And when combined together, all three parts of the balloon look really cool, and I think they make up a realistic shape for the balloon structure. And as for details, there's not that many. You can see it's just got some brown bands holding the entire balloon together, just like on the in-game version. And another feature from the in-game Prydwen are these two windows or vent areas, and I'm not sure what they're used for exactly, but that's just a important detail found on the in-game version. And you can see there's just some more details, and I've tried to keep it as accurate as possible. And then round the back here you have the engines. So the airship is powered by 4 propeller engines, and these are just the ones that help it steer in any direction. The main engines making it float up in the air are down on the lower deck, but for these engines you can see they're joined into the main balloon structure with some metal support beams, and they extend outwards and they look pretty cool when combined together. And you can see all 4 engines are identical, and each features some propellers, and in contrast to all of the grey featured on the rest of the ship, you have some red tail fins. They just help break up the colour scheme a little bit more. And then on the other side of the balloon we get to the front section of the airship, and you can see this is where you have an observation balcony, and that extends out from a door in the centre there, and there's just some more railings and detailing which you can access from the interior. And you can see that's connected to the lower deck with lots of support beam pieces and almost figurehead shape to the front. And then underneath the balcony you have this bit of armour plating that extends and skirts the balloon all the way around underneath, and you can see how that's made up of several bits of scrap armour plating and metal, and it's obviously not the same colour because of this, but you can see how that is an important part to the overall design of the Prydwen and makes the Prydwen a little bit more unique compared to other airships. Okay, so now if we take a look at the bottom half of the airship, we can see that it's made up of a main platform area and 2 cabins. And these cabins actually disguise some support beams that are used to support the massive balloon on top, since it's actually quite heavy as it's made of almost entirely bricks. And you can see how I've also had to use a large grey base to also act as a support and stop the airship from falling over. If we take a closer look at the lower deck of the airship, we can see that round the front here, the first cabin is the main command cabin. And this is where you can usually find the airship captain and the elder of the Brotherhood of Steel in-game. And you can see how I've achieved these very interesting shaped windows using lots of hinge pieces and sideways building pieces. And then underneath that you can see that there's a small access door with a grille window and a support beam. And one thing you'll notice is there's lots of railings that continue all the way around the platforms in the airship, and these were actually quite tricky to build as they're all sorts of different shapes and sizes, and I wanted them to still look consistent, as if they could still be part of the same airship design. And taking a look at that cabin from the back there, you can see the main door, and this is where you can access the inside of the airship in-game. And you can see there's not much else there, as it's quite dark, because it's covered by a massive balloon. But you can see there's just some stairs going up, and you might be able to make out some boxes in the corner there. And you also might have noticed these platforms that stick out. And there's 4 of these for each of the 4 engines. And you can see they're visible on both sides. You can see one right around the back there. And of course one on the other side. And basically these engines, they're facing downwards and they just propel the airship up in the air. And a cool detail I noticed while looking at the real in-game airship was they had some scrap tyres stuck on the sides of them. And I just thought that's a cool detail. And of course you can check out all of the airship in the game, so you can see how well I recreated all the details if you want to see that for yourself. So before I show you the second cabin, let's just take a quick look at the middle section of the airship. And right at the back there you can see a docked Vertibird. And that's just attached to the hangar on a platform identical to this one. But I'll show you a bit more of how that attaches to the airship and of the custom Vertibird itself in a little bit. For now you can see the main walkway extends only a little bit towards the other half of the bottom of the airship. And this is one difference between my LEGO version and the in-game airship. And in-game this middle walkway is probably about 4 or 5 times longer than on my LEGO version. But I don't think it's really that necessary to achieve the look of the Prydwen airship. So if we take a look at the second cabin, in the game this cabin is not actually used for that much. It's just got a few boxes, and that's pretty much it. But it's still quite important, and it hides a support which you can see inside the window, and that window just continues around on both sides. And you have another engine platform here. And then finally around the back of the lower deck of the airship, you have the access to inside the platform, and just some more engine details on the hull of the airship underneath. And again, some more of those railings, and they extend all the way around the airship. And here you can see a Brotherhood of Steel member just doing some repair work on a part of the cabin. And you can see the windows let in a tiny bit of light inside there. Now around the other side we can see the Vertibird that is currently docked and in its parked position, and to get that out from the airship you just slide it out across, extend these rotor sections, and they just fold up, and you can angle the propellers and fly the Vertibird out of the airship. And again, this is one of the parts of the airship which is not completely accurate to the in-game airship, because in-game, this platform you see underneath the Vertibird would be where people walk across to board the Vertibirds, and these would be on either side. But again, because the airship is slightly scaled down, it can only fit 1 Vertibird per platform instead of 2. But let's take a closer look at the Vertibird in a little bit more detail. So taking a quick look at the Vertibird, the first thing you notice is this really cool windscreen design. And you can see I made this out of several sphere and transparent dish pieces. And this creates this really cool bubble window design, just like on the Vertibird from Fallout 4. And then you have these 2 propeller engines, and these can rotate however you want. And this is how the Vertibird looks when it's in its parked position on board the airship. But you can just display those and angle the rotors in lots of different ways. And then down here you have the pilot's chair and some sliding doors. And on my LEGO version they don't actually slide, but you can still deattach the door and just attach it back. And it looks like the door's been closed. So that's still pretty good. And of course you just pop off the door and just clip it back on if you want the doors to look as if they've been slid open. And then if we continue around the back of the Vertibird, we can see this really sleek design continues, and all the way up to the tail fins. And again, similar to the design of the airship, you have some worn paint, and I've used some splashes of red coloured bricks to achieve this scratched and worn look of some red paint, and I think that works pretty well. And again, you can just see some more details in the engine and the rotors. So now we've seen all of the details on the outside of the Prydwen, let's take a look at the interior of the airship. If you're wondering how to access the interior, it's pretty simple. I've made these middle panel sections removable, so you can just remove these and reveal the inside details of the airship. So now we get to the inside of the airship. You can see I haven't recreated it exactly as it looks like in the game, and that's because of the scale, and I just simply don't have enough Lego bricks to build a full-size Prydwen just yet. But I think I've included as many of the most important details of the inside as I could. So before we take a look at the interior in detail, you can see that the main interior is separated by a walkway in the middle. And I added this walkway just because in-game, when you visit the inside of the airship, there's lots and lots of walkways going across everywhere, and I still wanted to include one, even if I couldn't include a fully accurate interior. On the left half of the interior, we have a small garage area, and here you can see there's a suit of power armor being worked on a power armor stand, and just some various tools and canisters lying about. And then next to that, this is a small restaurant or cafe area, and you can see a couple of bottles of Nuka-Cola. And where there's Nuka-Cola, there's a Nuka-Cola vending machine. And this is another small custom build I built specially for this airship, and I just think it looks really cool and fits nicely in the interior. And then finally, we have a fully suited up Brotherhood of Steel member. And if you want to know how to build this power armor suit, then I've done a how to build tutorial, so check that out, and I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to know how to build it. Here we have a Brotherhood of Steel member just patrolling the corridors. Some more canisters. You can see the back of the Nuka-Cola machine there. And some more boxes and junk, as the Prydwen is very cluttered with lots of different pieces of junk and scrap. And here you can see the sole survivor. That's the main character that you play as in Fallout 4, if you didn't know. And he comes with his own Pip-Boy. And again, you can build that in the same tutorial where I show you how to build the Brotherhood of Steel member in the power armor. And again, I've linked that in the description below. And then over here you have a desk with a computer terminal. And I'm quite happy with how this computer turned out, because I think it looks pretty accurate considering the scale to the many 50s style computers in the Fallout universe. And then finally over here we just have a small residential area, and that just includes a lamp and a bed. So that was my Lego Fallout 4 The Prydwen Airship. And if you liked it, please don't forget to leave the video a like, as I spent probably around a month's building time building it, and I always appreciate the feedback and comments. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time with more Lego constructions and creations.